Kind of continuing the conversation about vaccines, it is starting to become more widely available. But here in Oakland County, we've been extremely lucky to have the West Bloomfield Fire Department on the front lines of trying to get as many people vaccinated as possible by allowing one of the fire stations to be used as a vaccination site. And to continue the conversation, let's go ahead and bring in the chief of the fire department, Greg Flynn. Always great to have you with us.
Ronnie, Tyler, hello.
You know, it's much nicer, the weather today, to be standing outside from the first time we interviewed you at the first vaccination site.
Yeah, I think we had called on our friends at Parks and at Water and Sewer. We had more salt out here. Snow was coming down. I had a hat and gloves on. It is a good day out here. And again, what are we doing? We got short sleeve shirts on. It's easier to get vaccines into arms today.
That is a good point. I do think this is one of the best programs to allow people to drive through in their cars. They don't have to get out, walk into a huge vaccination site, and they stay in the comfort of their own car as well. So has it been going pretty well? Because when I drive by, it seems like you guys are doing this on a regular basis now.
Well, again, when we partner with our friends at Oakland County Health, they're the ones really hitting it out of the park here today. We very humbly just open up the facility, and today you can see all 3 bay doors are open behind me, and maybe you can see some of the folks in there that the cars are pulled up. They've already gone through their pre-screening, and the nurses are going ahead administering the vaccine. And then just beyond the camera here, the south parking lot by the tennis courts here in front of the high school is wide open. It's easy and convenient for folks to wait their 15 minutes, and then they're back northbound onto Orchard Lake Road. Right turn only, keeping all the traffic moving, and our friends from West Bloomfield PD are out here to keep things moving, and we're very grateful for their assistance as well.
So any estimate as to how many people have gone through the fire department there?
So we definitely could give you that number. I don't have it off the top of my head, but each week, the Oakland County Health Department reaches out to us. We know how many appointments there are, how many of those appointments are first shot, how many of them are the second shot, whether it's Moderna or Pfizer. They do a great job of communicating the plan with us, and that just affords us the ability to have the right number of police officers, staff here, how many bays are going to be open, do we need heaters, no heaters today, do we need to get salt removed or anything. It's all getting much easier as this weather gets nicer, Ronnie. That takes a lot of those obstacles out of our way. And let's face it, it's much easier to come out and get your shot when you're not combating a snowstorm or ice or something like that as well. So, but we are into the thousands. If you get the Oakland County Health Department's text messages, I think they're over 600,000 vaccines into arms so far, and many of those vaccines took place right behind me here at Fire Station 1.
Yeah, I love that. Again, I know that I had family members that had to go to Ford Field, and it was quick and it was fast, but still, you're getting out of your car, you're walking a couple blocks, you're going in, but this is such a great way to do it. And I think so many people are more comfortable as well staying in their own car, so I think it's such a great thing that you guys are doing and partnering with the health department and trying to get that done. Any indication as to how long you're going to be doing this, especially now that they've opened up the mass vaccination site over at United Wholesale?
Sure. Well, we'll continue to be a partner as long as Oakland County Health says that this is something that is needed. We definitely can appreciate and I've shared with you the stories of some of our residents who will come the day before because they want to know where they're going, where they're going to park, where they're going to turn. There can be some anxiety with some of our residents as to just the mechanics of going through and getting the vaccine. And if this is an easier venue for some, and by some I mean a significant demographic that this is the right fit, then we want to have that right fit. You know, I heard the tail end of the previous interview about some vaccine hesitancy, and people, let's remove those barriers. You wouldn't believe it, but some people are just hesitant to go out. They want it, but they don't want to have to go through those lines or be around a group of people. This is the perfect venue. There's social distancing between vehicles right now in the apparatus bay. So there's plenty of room. There's plenty of parking. It's easy to get to, and we're committed with our partners at Oakland County Health. As many agencies are willing to do this. We just have the opportunity to have the space and a convenient location to make this really easy. Because I know there's fire chiefs across Oakland County that have the same commitment to health and wellness of the residents.
Well, that is so great. Chief, outside of the vaccine, we are going into spring. Hopefully, no more snow. Mother Nature.
Sure.
But with that, though, I will say, like, you look at people in the neighborhood and they're out and they're starting to do spring cleanup and they're up on these ladders trying to clean their gutters, and not always the safest situation. When it goes into the spring and the summer months, does your department start to respond to different types of calls, such as for, falls and things of that nature?
Well, fortunately, falls are kind of an equal opportunity injury, And I remember as a kid, my dad had a set of these wooden extension ladders that he would swear by. And as the years went on and cleaning gutters when I was 16 and then 26 and then 36, and finally at 46, I'm like, Dad, you're getting new ladders. No, they're safe. They're safe. I'm like, trust me, I climb ladders and this isn't the ladder that I want to be on anymore. So we do just need to realize that I think we get comfortable. Hey, I've been cleaning my gutters for the last 50 years. There comes a time when it's probably best just to make that decision to help local businesses out, or somebody starting a business and doing some handy person work, and just give them that higher risk chore and pick up something else, something close to the ground, something that's not going to put you at risk, especially our seniors that are on blood thinners, and that a slip and fall of any kind is much more than just a slip and fall when you take some kind of blood thinner.
So, Chief, can you clarify what are the rules and regulations within the township when it comes to some of these outdoor burns? Because, we live on the trail and I'm already starting to see some of those where people are burning debris and leaves going into the warmer months.
It's a very easy answer, 0. There is no open burning in any of the communities, so Orchard, Sylvan, Kego, and West Bloomfield, all of them that are serviced by the West Bloomfield Fire Department, there's no open burning. So it's very simple, and it's just being very clear. You can't do it. Well, let me guess, you shouldn't be doing it. And so that's something just to keep in mind, that it's violation of township ordinance. And the 3 communities that we serve in Orchard, Sylvan, and Kego all adopt the fire ordinances that are the same as West Bloomfield. So it is the same thing for them. You are not allowed to burn leaves, refuse, anything out there. And we know over the years, people will say, but I can have a cooking fire. So they keep the same package of hot dogs for the last 5 or 6 years that, haven't been open. Folks, we got to give our team a little more credit here. Point is, most fires that we get called on that are outdoor fires are because they're an unsafe burn, or they're producing some kind of nuisance to the residents around them. And there's really just no need for it.
So is it okay, though, if you have like an outdoor fire pit or an outdoor fireplace, or you're saying no, not at all? Because
Ronnie,
there are dry conditions. No. And I'm just, because I saw a neighbor do it and I was like, oh, I don't think that's allowed, but I don't know.
Yeah, you're right.
But I think people think, oh, well, I have a fire pit. What's the difference from burning like fire logs? But it's the dry conditions, right? I mean...
Well, it's the dry conditions, Ronnie, but we can show you photos of fires where the folks will buy these things and then they put them up on their wood or even vinyl low-maintenance decks, and they heat and they burn through the deck. They catch the deck on fire, and then and so other residents will say, Chief, well, that's somebody that just made a poor choice. Yeah, we don't allow barbecues on multi-family dwellings, so the apartment complexes with barbecues. There's no outdoor barbecuing on those. Why? Because those areas aren't suppressed typically, the exterior. These are they're high. We're putting other residents at higher risk. We live in a community that is close, that is tight. You've got Phragmites that is in many of the wetlands areas that is very dry right now. We know that's an invasive species and is plaguing, this community in a sense. But if that catches on fire, those are fires. Next time you go by one of those areas that's full of Phragmites, just look at that and how quickly fire can spread in there. So what do? Our key role within the community is to prevent emergencies. We want to prevent those falls like we were just talking about by having a good conversation about it. And likewise, we want to understand that there really isn't a safe open burn in the 4 communities serviced by West Bloomfield Township Fire Department.
Okay, I'm Googling Frog Mighty right now.
It's PH. Don't do an F. It's PH.
Okay.
Yeah.
We always appreciate your time, but it's a good warning and a good lesson to all of us, because so many people, we think it's innocent to be able to do that, and but it can quickly spread. And we know there was that huge apartment fire downriver in Riverview, I think, just yesterday, and it spread so quickly. Don't know the cause, but it's like you said, watch out for your neighbors and be a good neighbor.
Sure, absolutely.
Chief Greg Flynn with us here on the Mega Cast for the West Bloomfield Fire Department. Chief, anything I didn't ask that you want to add before we say goodbye?
I really just want to thank those that you see kind of coming through the line behind me. I want to thank people that are getting their vaccine. So much of this narrative, again, continues to be, I saw on the news this morning, Ronnie, on CNN, Michigan is in crisis. While I'm not here to speak on behalf of the whole state, I am telling you that we can't live in constant crisis. Every news cycle cannot be crisis. This is the good that's happening right here in our community. People are getting access to vaccine. We've been here again and again and again, and all of these it's one more resident, one more neighbor that's getting vaccinated. I do see people wearing their masks. I do see people social distancing and being kind. I do not see the restaurants jam-packed. I had lunch down at J. Alexander's. Their staff was outstanding. All the tables were socially distanced and spaced. We need to be celebrating the things that people are doing well. We can't live where everybody's being told that everything they're doing is not enough. We need to recognize the things that people are doing really well. And I am grateful for this community, the Tri-Cities, Kego, Sylvan, and Orchard. The residents are doing a fantastic job. Don't focus on the 1 or 2 people that are just a little bit slower to learn the best practices. So many people, our school teachers, our school administrators, they're knocking it out of the park. And we need to celebrate that and realize that there's some really, really good success stories out there as we navigate now over a year of dealing with the coronavirus.
Great words to leave on. Thank you again for sharing that with us, but thank you again to you and your team for all the work that you're doing. Chief Greg Flynn with us here on the Mega Cast for the West Bloomfield Fire Department.